Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning into another episode of the Your Gray Matters podcast. My name is Jason, and I'm here as always with my dad, Neil. Hey, Dad, how you doing?
I'm terrific. Hi, everybody.
So we've got a really interesting episode again this week. A few months back, you probably remember, or if you're a new viewer, you may not have a chance to see it. We did an episode all about something called the super patch, and you'll hear all about what the super patch is on today's episode. But I have to say I was skeptical. I'm generally skeptical of things like this. And I really didn't know if we should air the episode, but I can't deny what I saw while we learned about the super patch the first time. It's what led me to think, yeah, we should air the episode. And I can't deny what I've seen in the last few months, as I've just seen more and more evidence that somehow this thing actually works. And I'm not as skeptical of it anymore. Although I think there's always a healthy level of skepticism, but we'll see. We'll see. You don't seem to be skeptical, Dad, and I think based on your experience, that sort of makes sense.
So, since that episode, I've become very involved in using these super patches. I'm wearing one and seeing how other people react to it. And I'm going to make a simple statement, Jason. If you can believe in Braille working for the blind, then you can believe in the super patch. And this episode will explain what I just said.
Absolutely. So let us know your thoughts in the comments, good or bad. Are you skeptical or are you on board? Let us know below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you feel you have somebody who can benefit from something like this. Tell them. Reach out to us. Our email's all over this episode. Reach out, leave a comment, let us know. We want to hear how it helped.
You're going to love it. Thanks very much, everybody.
Enjoy the episode. Welcome to Your Gray Matters, the podcast that unveils the miracles already amongst us. Here, we believe that the human mind cannot be defeated. Tune in to discover the fascinating people with extraordinary stories, innovative products, and groundbreaking services. With your host, Neil Silvert, who's earned his gray hair and still has use of his gray matter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Neil from the Your Gray Matters podcast. Welcome back. We hope that you had a great week. I'm so excited today. You could call it super excited because we're circling back to the super patch. If you saw our episode number 50, then you recognize this gentleman, Marcus Paton, a man who's actually helped to change my life and a lot of people's lives. Marcus, welcome back to Your Gray Matters podcast.
That's a real statement, Neil, and thank you. It's been a very humbling and profound experience, these crazy little things called super patches.
Yep, just amazing. Hey, everybody, I want to ask you questions. A very simple question. Have you ever heard of Braille? You know, Braille, the way that the blind have learned to read. I want to ask you a question. Are you aware that that technology is 200 years old? 200 years. I know that you've heard of it. I know that you believe that Braille works for the blind and they can actually, through their fingertips, send a message with dots and ridges to their brain, and somehow the brain converts that into words for them to understand. So I think everybody can agree that Braille works. It's just a tactile process with our fingers through our skin, which is just this big sensory organ, the biggest organ that we have, and it actually ends up the signal in that part of the brain known as the somatosensory cortex that actually converts the words. So if you agree that Braille works and you agree that there's pattern recognition in the brain, well, let me ask you a question. If one Braille communication system works, why couldn't we have more? And today we are excited to bring you again to the super patch with Marcus Paton, because that is exactly what has happened. Marcus, I believe that we have a product, the super patch, that has created over the years 12 new Braille communication systems to our brain. tell us about the super patch, how it works, and who created it, Marcus?
Thanks, Neil. The technical term for this is called vibro, so vibrational. It's a wave, tactile, feeling technology. What's extraordinary about this is that it has no ingredients. It has no contrail indicators, meaning it has no side effects. It's literally registered as a Band-Aid. And the owner of the company and inventor, his name is Jay Dollywall. I've had the real pleasure, and as Neil has, to meet this gentleman personally. He's a Canadian. The quick story on Jay is he's one of these guys you read in a magazine where at a very young age, he hit it out of the park. At 32, he cashed out for something over $60 million on a technology that he helped create. He's an engineer, a software engineer. But you know what? Happy wife, children, the whole 9 yards, but life always comes around in a funny way. And 18 months later, his mom was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of MS. And he had the time and the finances to travel the world because he wanted an answer. He's that kind of guy. I'm not going to settle for one answer. I'm going to go get many and put this together because I want to help my mom. The disappointing part of it was wherever he went in the world, he said it's like they almost read out of the same book. It was suck it up, tough it out, take your mom home, get used to it. This is the way it is. And he just wouldn't settle for it. So as an engineer and understanding that everything moves in waves, the reason you can hear me and see me, it's waves. One is sound, one is color. And he went to work and he created a company called Vox Socks. He started with a sock that he wove copper and silver through the sole of it. And that helped his mom's balance and stability. And 12 years later, 13 years later, and $25 million in his investments into technology, research, double-blind studies, laboratory, he's done it all. He's created a series of patches that actually work in different neural networks of our brain. So I've got a few here, Neil. Do you want me to hold them up and show them?
Yeah, let's talk about some of the things that these things can do.
So Neil, he created a series over the years through the technology. He started with one specific one called Liberty Patch. That's the one that is in the video, the one that I showed you for your balance and stability. And he created a series of other ones. So here's one, and this one's called Defend. So this one supports your autoimmune system and helps strengthen that part of your body. My example is my father, who's 95, wears this one. He's in a seniors assisted living. And we all know that at that age, if your immune system is compromised and you get sick, it's a tough way to recover. Here's one really simply. We all know the diet industry. I always laugh at the word. The first three letters always ring to me, DIE. It sounds like a failed system, and it really has been based on results. Here's one with clinical studies that actually increases the caloric burn inside to increase your calorie burn by 400 to 500 calories a day. By the way, that's a pound a week, 4 pounds a month, 50 pounds a year. There's no side effects. There's no ingredients in this. I'm going to say that over and over again because it's really hard to believe it. This one here is athletic performance. Some of the world's top athletes are using this. Jay Glazer, who is at the very peak of the NFL profession, has a short video out on how this has helped him in his athletic performance. So it's coming from the very pinnacle of that industry. So it's pretty exciting. Here's one. This has changed a lot of people's lives. This one's called Freedom. This is for pain. This is for chronic pain. I could sit here for an hour and give you the testimonials of people, Neil, that their life has just been changed. If you're in chronic pain, you can't sleep, you can't socialize, you can't think straight, you're grumpy, you're miserable, and you're on medication with profound side effects. I'll give you a short one. A gentleman that I know who was referred to me, it was on this in the Liberty. 4 days later, after being on opioids for pain for almost 30 years, he cut his opioid use by 94%. That was him calling me. You know what his biggest challenge was? He hadn't been out of pain for so long, he didn't even realize who he was. Like, extraordinary. So here's one for focus. This one specifically for, we're in the seniors range, but I'll tell you where this one's hugely important is for your grandchildren and great grandchildren, because they grew up on this crazy thing, this phone. They have no idea how to have long-term focus because they've trained their brain for these short, intermittent hits of energy and stimuli. So this one here is specifically for our youth to help them study, help them hold their attention on what they need to. Pretty darn amazing. Do you know anybody with stress? Our world is filled with stress. This one here helps reduce that stimulation in our body, that overwhelming feeling that we have. Again, no side effects, no contrail indicators. It's a simple patch. How much do these cost us? $2 per day. That's why Jay is so committed to us. Here's one. Bingo. How many people do you know cannot sleep properly? I had no idea, but 2/3 of the world's population is not getting the right sleep. The word is REM. If you're not getting REM sleep, deep sleep, you're not falling into that restful homeostasis spot where your body has the ability to recover, repair, and renew. It causes stress, mental illness, anti-aging. There's a plethora of issues when we're not getting enough sleep, including being grumpy to those people around you. Here's a cool one. Kick it. Here's a testimonial. A young man in his 30s who, baby on the way, wants to change the smoking habit. He's in construction, but he can't really get away from it because it's everywhere. His aunt, who's a healthcare practitioner, introduced this to him. Here's the story on it. First day, Wardy never had a cigarette all morning, Neil. He had lunch. And then after lunch, he had a little bit of a curiosity and pang. He lit the cigarette up. He could not finish the cigarette, and he's not had one since. Now, that's amazing. And he tried everything else. Now, here's one. This is a fun one. This one, this one's for you, and this one's for me. When I show this one to couples, I just point to the name and I ask the lady, what do you think that's for? And most of them just break out and laugh. When men lose their ability to have intimacy with the part, erectile dysfunction, they become desperate. And what men are doing in order to achieve that is absolutely horrendous on their health. Here's a product that at the age of 60 or 65, in 10 to 14 days, there is a great recovery in our ability to be a man. And this has clinical studies to back it up. So there's a couple other ones, Neil. There's one for skin, so you can stop using potions, lotions, creams, and salves. It works on the collagen reproduction under your skin, and why that's so important, because those same cells in your skin are in your GI tract, and your GI tract's responsible for about 85% of our overall health. So that's a quick overview, Neil, of these products, what they do. They're not available in the store. They're only available through a direct network. They're trademarked around the world. He has every intention of protecting these and keeping these at a price that everyone can afford, which is really someone that has a huge vision.
You know, Marcus, this is so fantastic. What I've learned too, and folks, I'm wearing one. This is the Liberty, the Balance one, and I can take it off maybe my arm, maybe not. It's just a patch. But if you look closely, I don't know if you can see this, it's just a Braille fingerprint. Remember how we opened this show? It's just another type of Braille. If you believe in Braille, then you can try this and believe in this. You mentioned the victory patch for athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the things that people who are athletes look at, and there's so many things, is something called heart rate variability, which is essentially it's a measurement of time between heartbeats, and it's important. The higher the score, the better it is. There is someone who I know who works with HRV with athletes. She had an athlete who didn't have a good HRV. She put on that victory patch and she reported to us an extremely powerful improvement for that athlete. You never know till you try them. It's very, very exciting. Also, Marcus, you can wear many of them at the same time. And so they don't interact with each other with medication, as you said. So I know someone who suffers from an extremely itchy and crappy skin problem. And she actually tried 2 or 3 different ones together at one time. I call it her recipe. The itching is gone, the scratching is gone, the pain is gone. These are remarkable. Now, you did a balance test on me. That's how we were introduced to this. And we have a video of that because it changed my life. Let's take a look at that video.
The interesting part of it, Neil, and people want to know what's going on, and the technology literally puts your body in a state of homeostasis. And people go, well, what is that? I make it really simple. By when you go out and walk in nature for half an hour, that feeling you have, that's homeostasis. So we get to do that in real time without nature. So that's the technology.
Okay, let's have a look at this video.
Balance test on your husband.
All right.
Here and right now.
Okay.
Just put me on one foot.
Oh, so let's just inside. So, yep. I remember this part here, Neil, where because Linda was sitting there watching, and she's recording this. That's where this video came from, and the response on people's faces, especially when we're putting this patch on here, the shock that and dismay that people get in. I've done hundreds of them now. It's never different. It's always fun, and I know you've done a few. It's pretty amazing to watch people respond to it.
I think the word is disbelief.
The other one is
Unless you go through this actual balance test, you can't imagine how it makes you feel, how great it is.
Funny one.
By the way, you're a strong guy. You were trying to pick me up, and I'm around 200 pounds.
It's a fingerprint. I've seen it where 80 and 90-year-old people, you can't budge them. I've seen it where, huge men, 6'5", bigger, where they just tip over like simple. They think they're stronger than that, not in that way, which is amazing.
Yep, I actually did it to a 380-pound man. Managed to tip him. Oh boy, when he put the patch on, it was amazing.
And that one I know I'm not going to get hurt at all.
So, Marcus, you actually were smart there because you took the patch off and did it to me again so that I would notice the difference. Then I became very aware.
Part of that, Neil, is, people go, well, is it a placebo? There's a great saying, and I use it every time. It's, if you hear it, you can dismiss it. If you see it, you can deny it. But when you experience it, you own it.
100%.
And that's really why we do that.
100%. I'm sure brought me into this patch.
Just a little.
And there you have it, folks. Great experience you want to have.
Tactile technology.
Say those words again.
Tactile technology.
So, Marcus, you said that these are sold by networks. Talk about the business opportunity, because what I love about this super patch and what Jay has done is people can not only get the use of these for their own. We don't make medical claims at all. There's no medical claims here, but these are things that will certainly improve your life. Not only can you get these to use for yourself, your loved ones, your friends, but you can frankly make money with them. There is a business opportunity. Marcus, talk about the business opportunity and why Jay went this way.
Well, great question. It's a referral program. We refer things that we like. We refer a movie, we refer a restaurant, we refer all kinds of things to those people that we closely know. because we want them to have the same kind of benefits we do. Jay's had the opportunity. Actually, he's been pestered by high-end financiers, people that can raise millions or billions of dollars of money, who have come to meet with Jay here in Canada and have told him he would be far better off to sell this technology to them, and they would do the distribution for him throughout the world. One said, you know what, Jay, we could put these in every drugstore around the world. And he turned them down flatly. He said, I am in a position where I want everyone to have the opportunity to change and have control over their own health and wellness. If I give this to someone else, the price will go from $2 a patch or $60 a month plus your shipping to $3 or $4 or $5 a patch, putting it out of the range of the average person's ability to use the product. That's the business model that's out there, and that's the business model that he's avoiding. So we get to refer people. I referred it to you, Neil. You've referred it to other people. You get a little bit of that referral fee. I get a little bit of that referral fee. And what I know in today's economic climate, economic times, our money is not delivering the value it used to be. And many, many people out there we know could use an extra $1,000 or $1,500 a month in order to maintain and hold a lifestyle that they've worked a very, very long time for. So we could get more complicated than that, Neil, but that's really it. There's a referral here. Refer your friends. And we can get into a little more detail from that. And I ask you, have you had fun referring your friends, and have you had fun doing these balance tests?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's money involved in it, but not only that, you're doing a good thing for yourself and for
Yes,
others.
you are.
And we can offer you, everybody, a chance just to hear more about these. If you want to have a sample of them, if you want to have a balance test, if you want to get onto the introductory phone calls that are offered many times a week, thanks to Marcus and the team, then simply do the following. You can visit a website, and we'll post these, called Your Gray Matter Accounts.superpatch.com, or you can email us at superpatch@yourgraymatterspod.com, and we'll get the info to you. Remember, if you believe that Braille works, and I'm being very serious, then I hope that you can believe that there's other Braille patches possible to communicate with your brain to help it work better. Marcus, thanks for coming on today. We're so excited about all this. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming on. We'll be back next week as usual, and have a marvelous week. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Neil. Appreciate your time and your interest in bringing this to the public. Thank you for what you guys are doing on your podcast.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you too. Take care.
Take care. Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. If you found it interesting and you liked it, give us a thumbs up. If you're ready to subscribe, click right here. And if you'd like to see another episode, click right here. Tell a friend. Send us comments. Thanks a lot.